Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Formula One podcast. Races. Races have been, races have gone, races to come. Race news, previews, predictions. It's all here. Everything you could possibly want from a Formula One podcast in a nice, tight package. I didn't mean it like that. You know what I mean. Formula One podcast. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave reviews where you can leave reviews. Share the podcast around. Do absolutely everything you can to get this podcast out in the world. It's great. We love it. You love it. Other people should love it. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast. Straight to the apex.
Hello, welcome to Straight to the Apex F1 podcast. This is episode 14.
Hey!
Thank you very
Well
much.
done.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
I got it right for once. I'm leading today, Tony Rawson. I'm joined by James and Mark.
Hello.
And we've got some news to start off that the beloved Hull Kingston Rovers rugby league team won in their semi-final, so we've gone with a Rovers themed podcast.
We are.
Why
We're
not?
going to Wembley.
James is so happy he painted his kitchen red.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Oh,
knew.
this is a the house.
Insane.
Kitchen was red and white. I like it already.
Yeah. Done.
James was there. What did you think, James?
Oh, don't get me wrong. Stressful. I ain't gonna bloody lie. Especially when we got halfway to Leeds and then my mate realised he'd left the tickets in the house.
No.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big shout out to Chris. But no, we got to the ticket office. We explained what happened. We showed them pictures of the tickets and they gave us new ones. So all good. But yeah.
What? You carried on?
Well, we just thought we'll risk it. If they can't reprint them, we'll just buy new ones. But
You've not
yeah.
you've not trusted him to buy the Wembley tickets, have you?
Oh no, I bought my own.
Yeah.
Nice.
Chris, if you do listen, remember your tickets. Remember your Wembley.
tickets. Well,
absolute class.
Well, we could pretty much talk about anything else except the race this weekend because it was fucking boring.
Mate, the reel you sent me, I think it was yesterday or something on Instagram, it just summed it up. I mean, that's not even one F1 race in 7 seconds. That's pretty much the entire season.
It was underwhelming, and we're nearly halfway, and Max Verstappen carries on. Record 12th win for Red Bull, his 9th win of the season, 7th in a row, his biggest winning margin so far. Yeah, we've touched on it many a time. It's a special car. It's a special season for him. What do you think?
Hamilton called it. He's been every interview. I think every interview he's had since last race, including this one, he's said the same thing about Red Bull. They've slowed it down. It's not that everyone else is getting faster; it's that they've slowed down.
Yeah,
and I think that's quite clear. I mean, they weren't great in practice. They weren't great in qualifying or anything else like that. And then all of a sudden on race day, Perez has enough bloody power in there to go from whatever bloody position he was and become driver of the day. And Max getting a ridiculous lead in a number of, and I mean a number of laps. I think at one point he got like a 7-second lead in 2 laps. It's like, how do you fucking do that? I mean, Total Wolf actually said it's like an F1 car against a bunch of F2 cars.
Yep.
They were something like 1.25 seconds faster most of the laps.
Yeah.
Good news is though there was under the salary cap last year apparently.
Yeah. Well, they just told them to start bringing packed lunches instead of going to the canteen, aren't they?
Yeah. Saved them millions because of millions under. Millions under. I mean, credit where credit's due. Red Bull, they beat McLaren's record. They called perfect pit strategy for Perez. Max had a good start, and they also pulled out a 1.9 second pit stop for Perez. 1.9. I mean, when they said that they were slowing pit stops down, you know, they changed fuel procedures, would never get under 2 seconds again. 1.9.
Well, what? Winning team, champion team, they're getting it all right. Unlike Ferrari, who seem to be getting it all wrong.
Everything they do, everything they touch, do, say.
Crap stop. Team tactics, again, unsure of what the tactics are. Then drivers are Carlos calling his own strategy mid-race, not getting back to people on the radio. Just a nightmare. Not the car's not the quickest. They are like a fourth, fifth. They're becoming like nearly a mid-table team, if not they are.
They are.
What do you think?
Yeah. You're right. They're everything they do over the last, and it's not just this season. It's 3 seasons, but also you're now getting the infighting with the drivers, like Leclerc and Sainz to both chippy each other, like get the other way.
Yeah.
Like, put them over. I'm on a better strategy, and like you say, Leclerc calling his own strategy. They're an absolute mess. Absolute mess.
Anything to add, James?
What just about Ferrari? Something needs to change. And it's not just like a little thing like, oh, let's just change something on the car. It needs to be something. It needs to be either one of those two has to go, or it has to be someone in the back room.
Well,
they tried the principle last year. Granted, he wasn't having a fucking great season or anything else like that. But if anything, it's got worse.
Yeah, another race, another calamity, isn't it? Another race, another calamity. And you could really spend a podcast almost picking apart the season of Ferrari, which we have nearly done before. So
I'll do it with one race. Not this race, but last race. This is how much the drivers actually give a shit now because they're not paying attention. Because at one point on the radio, when they said, "Oh, let's go to Plan B," and I think it was Leclerc actually turned around and went, "Oh, what was Plan B again?"
Yeah.
They're not even talking to each other, not communicating in racing debriefs or planning the next race or anything else like that. They're a joke.
They've got no confidence, have they?
No.
They've got no confidence in the team. I mean, Fred Vasseur, really, he should rip that team apart and start again. But who's going to go? This is the thing with Ferrari. They've had quite a bit of a problem recruiting. Like James Allison, obviously, he went for a little bit, didn't stay. Every F1 team, really, apart from a couple, are based in England. And to get the best engineers, they are mainly English, the best aerodynamicists, the best strategists. They don't want to go live in Italy. They don't want to do that. They might have families. They might just not want to commute. So they have to employ Italians. I'm not saying that they're, less than the British UK people, but obviously they're not getting the best of the best because they can't get the best of the best. The hands are almost tied, aren't they?
Yeah, but when Ferrari knocks on your door, Mark, surely when a Ferrari knocks on your door, that's gonna turn your head.
Obviously it's not. People are going out there and not lasting long. They can't build a team, and that's another thing Red Bull and Christian Horner has done. He has built a team that's been there. Like there's a guy always in the garage. He's got dreadlocks, real tall. He's been there for years.
Yeah.
The team boss, I can't remember what his name is, but he's under he's under Christian Horner. He's been there. Obviously, Adrian Newey's been there. They've got the same people in the same positions. They have built, like a rugby team, like a football team, the gel, the wet. Ferrari are just chopping and changing, and they're getting it wrong.
They need a complete.
Yeah, we've got to start somewhere. Is this the start? Maybe, maybe not. This story continues. Should we do some news?
Yeah.
Let's take a little turn left, and do some news. The biggest news, I think, of the whole weekend, probably over the race.
Okay,
above the race. I was thinking more of a Daniel Ricciardo.
Huh.
Okay.
Comes back into the Alpha seat. He did okay, considering he's been away for so long. What do you guys think?
I think he did well. I think
13th for 13th.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. First race back, like you said, he hasn't driven in 9 months. Granted, he's done test driving and all that kind of stuff, but he hasn't been in an actual race scenario or anything else like that. And yeah, he finished P13, so well done, mate.
I mean, he got caught in the absolute carnage that was the start.
First turn.
Dropped to near the back and managed to get back to 13th in a very ordinary car. And qualifying, he got to Q2. Tsunoda didn't. I think he had he's only going to get stronger. And that's a worry if you were Tsunoda.
Well, Tsunoda's having a good season, supposedly.
That's a worry if you're Perez.
It's also a massive worry if you're Perez. But he's got his seat safe for next year.
Bollocks.
Bullshit.
Well,
we all saw it, didn't we, where Horner went up to him just before the formation. He'd just got in the car and Horner actually walked up to him, shook his hand to wish him luck and everything. He knows what he's doing.
Tony. Perez has come out today and said, no one can handle that second Red Bull seat. It's a pressure like you've never felt, blah, blah, blah. He's making a lot of excuses as if to say that the pressure's getting to me, I'm stepping back. That's the kind of gist I'm getting, that he's laying the foundation for if he does get binned, or he's going to go on his terms.
Yeah, it's his idea. Else's, yeah.
I think that a lot of it, they are positioning it. Just his comments today, I don't know if you've seen it, just saying that like he's under pressure and no one can survive against Max in this Red Bull team, blah, blah, blah. He's laying the groundwork. He's not going to be in the seat for long.
Ricciardo managed fucking second seat along with Verstappen.
Yep.
Ricciardo handled it well. And they just not unfortunately. Well, yeah, it was unfortunate for Ricciardo, but obviously Horner chose Max.
You know what? Thinking about it, Ricciardo would be perfect because he's Mr. Nice Guy, looks good in an F1 car, looks great on your team. Everybody loves him. The weekend felt better because he was there. And I don't know why.
Yeah, great for people because he's just a happy guy. Like I know you've doubted his ability in the past, but he's a solid driver. You give him a cat. I mean, he give Max a run for his money. Yeah, Red Bull have pinned the colours to Max now, but I think he's been through at Renault and McLaren, he'd be quite happy to sit as a second driver. Whereas before,
that's what I'm saying.
Why he left. Yeah,
that's why I think it's a match made in heaven now. You've got the one guy that wants to win it all. He can go do that. You've got the other guy, happy to be there, drives to the best F1 team. Everybody loves him. He's selling caps.
Yeah.
Right.
The other thing as well, and we said it at the end of last season when we first found out that Red Bull had taken Ricciardo on as a representative of the marketing team or something stupid like that, whatever it fucking was. Probably another way of like scamming the budget cap. And we all said the reason is because Red Bull have now become the villains. Unless you Dutch or anything else like that, you're not a big fan of Red Bull. You ain't. They're the bad guys. They're the guys, at the pantomime that you all boo and hiss at and everything else like that. They needed to get somebody in that everybody loved. And that's one of the reasons Ricciardo went there as well. Obviously, don't get me wrong. He went there for a fucking good pay.
Yeah.
But that's why Red Bull wanted him there. And yeah, getting him into that seat as well and sticking Perez in an AlphaTauri potentially.
Interesting. Moving on. Upgrades. There's quite a few upgrades this weekend. Red Bull brought a big package. Did it make a difference? We'll never know. Did it? I don't know. AlphaTauri, Mercedes, Ferrari, Alpine, Aston Martin, and Haas. I don't know. I didn't really see much of a difference. The McLaren is still a machine. And they are continuing to destroying this field. The undercut, which we'll get onto soon, but Piastri looks fantastic. This is his rookie season, but he's looking amazing.
Yeah, he is. He won't be allowed to beat Norris though.
Wow.
Why?
Why?
Because that's what Daniel went. Norris is the king there, bit like Leclerc is at Ferrari. They've pinned that car. They've pinned that car on Norris, and I thought when Piastri, he was doing well, he was in a good position, and then all of a sudden, they obviously did him in the pit stop, and he just sat in the car and he was like, right, okay, he knows. Otherwise, he'd have been kicking off on the radio.
Well, that's interesting because he was quiet on the radio, wasn't he? They were all the commentators were saying it was a monster of an outlap from Lando. But he was still quite quiet, wasn't he? That might ride into your point. Plus, Lando got the upgrades. Was it 3 races before? Yeah. Again, nothing was really said about why he got it first. Like, it's because he's a rookie.
That's it. Why would you want first season to try out a new upgrade on an expensive car when you've got a seasoned driver there?
I mean, Lando is also very clever because he made some comments at the weekend of, well, this car isn't really designed to my strengths. It's not like I like to do this with a car and it does that. Does it? Are you kind of building this persona that actually you're driving around the problem, it's not your team? Because I do think it is your team.
That's why I'd like to see Lando. I completely agree with what you're saying. I think he's a very good driver, but I just see him as this like childlike driver, this young driver. But he's not. He's clever, and he's a good driver. And I think this is the time where we're going to see him like come into his own. And that goes back to your point. He is number 1.
He is. I also like him because he smashed Max's trophy.
That's what I talk about.
Trophy that like cost like 40,000 whatever to make in 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months to make it by hand by 30 people, costing £40,000 £40,000 or whatever it was, and he smashes it.
I mean, I love his celebration. I love it. I love that he bangs the champagne bottle and it goes.
It's absolutely class. I think, it's just fucking awesome. Like, he gets his champagne and he just, gadoosh!
Yeah.
That's it, fountain of champagne up in the air and stuff like that. And yeah, just to see Max's trophy just suddenly go.
What is it? Are we going to see that every time now?
Well, he's done it since his junior car series. He's always celebrated like that.
It's like Ricciardo with a shoey.
Yeah, that's Lando's. And apparently, a lad at work, Alex, he went to Silverstone and he said, obviously, Lando was on the podium there, did the same. If it wasn't for the caging at the bottom of the barrier, the massive gold Silverstone trophy would have also fell into the crowd when Lando did it. I mean, he might have had to explain that one a bit more than he did the porcelain one at Hungary, but I like it, Lando.
Can you imagine in that quiz when Tony went, I've got a prize from the race, and he went, I've got this marble, or I've got this big old trophy that just kind of fell.
Nice. And I still haven't got my gravel yet.
Yeah,
when's it going to end? Oh, yeah,
Gravel.
shit.
Marble. I got the gravel.
Oh, yeah.
When's it going to end, though? Is he going to smash champagne every time?
Yeah.
What you mean? He's just going to like escalate, to the point eventually he's just going to bottle someone with it.
Well, yeah.
What, shank him? Is he going to smash the bottle and shank him?
Smash the bottle on the side, then go for Max's throat or something with the shard in his hand, like, yeah, I won.
Wow,
that took a 10.
Anyway, go on.
Sorry, quickly going back to the trophy thing. Max loved it, laughing and joking about it and everything else like that. Would he have reacted the same if Lewis had have done it?
No.
I think he'd be like, oh, well, I think Lewis is a little bit bitter. He's not used to not having the fastest car. He just needs to get over it and just grow up.
Would he have? Would he?
He wouldn't. I mean, Christian Horner had a bit of a dig again, and he said something like, "Oh, well, it can come out of Lando's budget because we ain't got the budget," or some shit like that. But if it was Lewis, it'd have been a massive kick-off. Massive.
That was it. Yeah, he said, "Oh, I hear the owner of McLaren's got plenty of money, so he can pay for it." Yeah.
Yeah, but always looking for the angle.
I was thinking something. I meant to mention it on the last podcast, so I'll mention it now. There's something that's only just dawned on me, and I reckon this massively upsets Red Bull, or at least Horner. Because the fact is, what he's always been annoyed about is it's always Mercedes, this, Mercedes, that, Mercedes. Then as soon as Red Bull started showing dominance, the conversation was still Mercedes. They're out there and they are winning convincingly. They're winning by like 17-second lead and all this ridiculous stuff. And they should be getting spoken about, but it's still, what's happened to Mercedes? What's going on there? Oh, look here, here's Toto, he's broken another headset. What's going on with Lewis? Lewis doesn't have any luck with the safety cars. Lewis. It's never Max. It's never Red Bull. It's never Horner. And I reckon that pisses them off.
I think that gets to Christian that he's not a main manufacturer. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just think that he feels like he's working at a second-hand used car dealer, and you've got Mercedes-Benz round the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The main dealer. I just think there's a hint of jealousy that he's outselling them. He's a salesman. He's outselling. Oh my God, he's the best salesman in the world.
But you'll never
You're
be
not a main dealer. You're not a main dealer, mate.
You're not selling a Mercedes.
Yeah,
I think you're right there, Mark. I think and James, I think there's a hint of jealousy.
I do. I agree with you, James.
All the time, they're always saying something about Mercedes. Or could it just be great mind games, which we know Horner's great at them.
I'm not saying Horner talks about Mercedes.
No.
I'm saying that everybody else talks about Mercedes. Even though Red Bull is still dominant, everyone still talks about Mercedes.
But they don't mention Ferrari. Like, Ferrari was a superpower. And since Michael Schumacher went, I nearly said Michael Jackson. I don't know why. I think it's an age thing. I must be, I'm getting old. I'm really sorry. I'm so glad I didn't say Michael Jackson. I'm Michael Jackass, motherfucker. Lap 5, Shamon.
This podcast has a theme for certain people, but we'll carry on.
It does. Yeah, I just think that Ferraris gets glazed over. Like you say, it's everyone talks Sky, Simon Lazenby, love Max issues, Max problems, Max. Is that because he's a Christian Horner fanboy?
I don't know. Let's move on.
We're moving on.
Yeah. Before we talk about anything else, but in that conversation, viewers, comment as you will over that past conversation.
Why is it
Anyway.
always when you lead, it all goes to shit?
I said nothing. I said nothing in that small segment. You guys did that, and you can read. You can listen back on all your channels: YouTube, SoundCloud, and all the rest.
Now we promote it. Yeah.
Now we promote it, right? Yeah.
Hell of a link there, guys. You look honestly, read between the lines. Anyway, moving on.
If only the dramas could stay between the lines.
Well rescued. Well rescued.
Yeah.
FIA, 2 new teams potentially coming in.
Really?
Andretti and High Tech GP.
High Tech. You know what? That sounds like the PE bag you had to take to secondary school, and you knew that your mates were just going to tear you apart.
Yeah. Couldn't afford Adidas.
You
walk in Nike. I've got a new High Tech.
Listen to you two, you Mercedes bum boys, eh?
Whoa.
No, we're talking. We both went to the same school, and we know if you had 4 stripes and not 3, your ass was getting handed to you.
Yeah.
But
equally, let's stop at that point. Mercedes fanboys. If we go back to episode 1 of this podcast,
here we go. Here we go.
We were all Mercedes fanboys. Just because you're fickle and flaky and have moved on to, I think we're on team number 4? Maybe 3.
This season, yeah.
Maybe 3.
Let's go with 4.
4, yeah. So
if we include Mercedes, then there's a bit of Ferrari, then he went to Aston Martin fanboy. Now he wants nothing to do with them.
I was listening to the podcast from season 1, and I was laying it on thick with Ferrari, and I was really ashamed of myself.
The grief you gave me the other week because I said, if Rovers wasn't around anymore, I'd probably support Castleford. They're my second team. And you went, oh, you can't, it's one team. It's no, there's no other team. It's Rovers or nothing else. And then, mate, you've supported like 4 different teams this year.
I am slightly worried for the weekend, though, Tony, because obviously James's 2 teams are playing each other, so I don't know which one I'll support.
Rovers.
It still cuts deep every time he keeps saying that. I don't know why he keeps saying Castleford is my second team. Like, the guy that nearly ran on the pitch because Rovers made the semi-final.
Disappeared. It'd probably be Castleford. Only because they're a very similar team to Rovers. They've got a very similar ground.
Said no one ever.
It could be worse. I could say, if Rovers was no more, I'd start supporting FC.
Oh, I feel sick in my mouth. Yeah.
I know.
Moving on. We're getting to halfway of the season. I have heard on the grapevine it's that time of the season where the cost cap controversy starts to kick in. And supposedly, there's 3 teams that may be in contention. However, the FIA have said these claims or this hearsay is completely unfounded. However, they did say this time last year, and we all know what happened last year.
Yeah.
Someone got a bit greedy at the buffet.
Any more news before we move on to the actual race?
The F1 Academy teams have been announced.
Yep.
So
2024.
Yeah, 2024. There'll be 5 teams with 3 cars per team, and all F1 teams will have their livery on a car competing.
Right.
Interesting.
Is it livery or livery? I've always wondered this.
Livery?
Livery.
Is it? But I mean, it's potato. It's what you want to call it.
I'd go with livery because you don't say I'm having a delivery or anything else like that from Amazon.
I mean,
so I'd have said livery, but You know when you're saying, you're like, have I been saying this wrong all my life? Just like Tony can't pronounce your Guan Yu.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Let's go with livery. Anyway,
You
yeah.
and me.
I mean, it's like, to be honest, on that subject, it's like me and Katie have this debate about your last name, James. How would you pronounce it?
Correctly.
I hope so. I bloody hope so.
Stainforth.
Yes, it's Stainforth.
Yeah.
Stainforth. Yeah, Stainforth. I don't know. Who cares?
Exactly. Livery, it don't matter.
Taco.
Yeah.
Any more news?
No.
I think so, no.
Amazing.
Amazing. Is it amazing?
Let's go.
Fabulous
Let's
stuff.
go.
Fabulous.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's move on to practice. The new regulations, 11 tyres. Interesting. Suppose it's all about this cutting down and being green. Interesting. It made for a very good weekend, I thought. A bit more strategic.
It
They
made
had to be.
it made quali interesting. Yola liked it because of a certain driver getting knocked out in quali. So that's probably why it made it interesting for you.
I just like it mixed it up. It added a different edge more, and it made it more fair.
I agree with the fairness. I just think it took strategy out of qualifying.
Yeah. I think it took the strategy out. I do like it because it mixes it up. It takes all strategy out of it, like Mark just said, because the only thing you can really do is see if you can reduce your weight so don't have so much fuel in the car and stuff like that. I'm going to sound like an absolute dick here, but I think the reasoning of, because we have to take, 2 less tyres each driver, that means it's 33,000 less tyres every season, and blah, 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 blah. So we're doing our bit for the environment and everything is just bollocks. If you want to do more for the environment, no, hear me out.
Shots fired there, guys. Straight from Bev.
Greta's coming for you.
Vettel, you just pissed off Vettel as well. He's coming for you.
Greta
His fucking old ass F1 guy's fucking coming down. He's coming down Bev Road right now.
But no, hear me out. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for doing everything for the environment and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely. But it's a little bit hypocritical, really, what they're kind of doing. Yeah, there's 11 less tyres and stuff like that and all this kind of stuff. But you are still driving around the same amount of times and all that kind of stuff. If you wanted to do something more for the environment, get rid of practice 3.
Yep. I mean, like Lewis said, they take a lot of wet weather tyres. Don't need to take that many.
No.
You could make the wet weather tyres more durable, so you only need maybe 2 sets. That'd get rid of a lot. Same with the intermediates. I mean, this whole save the planet tyre thing, I totally agree with you, James, because what did they do to the tyres years ago? Made them wear more. You don't need to take all these sets.
You'd scrub them, you'd do this, you'd do that. But the main thing that's doing it is the emissions. Yep. And if they're still driving around, they've got 3 practice sessions, and then like this weekend, you've got your 3 practice. You got your practice sessions, your qualifying, your sprint, shootout, your sprint, then the race, all that other stuff that's going on in between as well. Mm-hmm. And George Russell made it really clear last year. He said, "Why do we have 3 practice sessions when F2, F3, and all them guys only get 2?"
Yep.
If you wanted to do more for the environment and stuff like that, scrap FP3.
Scrap that, so you could save maybe 5 tyres, just like that.
You'd be saving on your tyres, you'd be saving on the emissions.
Yeah, exactly. Engine use, like say, everything.
So yeah, Greta, if you're listening, more than happy for you to send out a pizza delivery to my house. I will send you the address details. Get me on Twitter, everything else. As long as I get a Domino's, I love you.
At the end of the day, this is motorsport. Like, it needs for the sport to work, the cars need fuel. That's going to be an emission.
I think that what Vettel is trying to push is obviously in the build-up to the race, he was saying about is his fuel that he's like helping to produce, and the cleaner fuel. But you've got all them trucks going around. You've got like if we all went onto that clean fuel now, including the F1 cars, you're instantly saving your carbon footprint. We've said it before. I think it was you, James, or you, Tony. The calendar is all over. Do segments. Do America, Europe, far away that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a bit of thought into the plan.
Yeah, but we said this last. We went from Europe to Canada and then back to Europe.
Yeah, and we're going to Vegas and Texas later in the year.
Why?
That just reminded me actually about Vegas. One very, very quick point. Have you seen that all the hotels in Vegas have been given a letter from the head of F1? Either block the views of the race or you will be charged $2 million. So for all their guests, they've got to block. If they can see them from high rises, they've got to put stuff up at the windows so no one can stay in that hotel and watch the race for free, basically. They want about $2 million.
This could be the start of a ridiculous theme in it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's coming.
Yeah.
What else is coming is part 2 of this episode.
Oh, nice.
Well done, you. Slick.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah, we'll crash through a bit like Perez, practice, qualifying, the race, little quiz. See you on the other side before I melt because I'm so hot and on fire.
Bye-bye.
Hey, you. Yeah, you that's listening right now. Thanks very much for tuning into this episode of Straight to the Apex, the Formula One podcast from CookieCast. If you're enjoying this episode, why not like, share and subscribe? Whilst you're there, feel free to check out some of the other podcasts that CookieCast has to offer. If you like football, we've got a football podcast. NFL more your thing? Then the Laces Out podcast is for you. Maybe even a little bit of the wrestling. Just look for the Getting Over podcast on CookieCast. Maybe you want to listen to Andy's Darkest Timeline. It's there too. So, the F1 boys have probably got themselves a drink. It's time to get back to the action.
You shouldn't have even hesitated.
Welcome back, like Daniel Ricciardo. However, not if you're Nick De Vries.
Oh?
Part 2 of the Hungary GP.
Hungary?
Ring.
Wow.
How would you say that? Hungaro ring? Hungaro ring?
Hungaro ring.
Hungaro? Hungaro?
Move on.
Move on. Enough about rings anyway. So FP1. Wet. Like Perez span. And that was definitely a red flag, if you know what I mean. He's got history of this as well. 2014, Force India, and 2015 he flipped. FP2 Sonoda, Leclerc topped the standings. FP3 Hamilton topped the standings. I don't know if you've got anything else to add out of the practice.
Nope.
Qualifying. Russell out in Q1. How unfortunate for the young man.
Traffic issues. They always do it.
I actually thought it during this qualifying session as well. As soon as I saw it happening, straight away, I heard Tony saying it. You know, every week they do the same thing. They wait till the last minute and then they go out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You run the risk. And I'm sorry. He lost. Why didn't he just get on with it? Don't know. But that's how, you run the risk. Anyway. Q2, Ricciardo bowed out. Sainz just bowed out by 0.02 of a second. But really, it was all about Q3. And oh my God, what a reaction for Lewis Hamilton to put it on pole by 0.003 of a second. Definitely the moment of the weekend. What do you guys think to that?
I thought it was a great lap by Lewis. Great lap.
Yeah.
Sent it. And this Mercedes is quite good when it's got no fuel in, well, little fuel, and it's on red hot slicks. But when it's full of fuel, it's not that great. Interesting that he sent it as hard as he did. And he was really emotional as well afterwards, which was a bit strange.
Well, it was his first pole since 2021 in Jeddah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just a surprise, maybe. Like, no one expected it, did they? Everyone expected. I mean, when Max did his Q3 lap literally on his own, I thought no one's beating that. And I mean, Lewis's time was never purple. It was green, yellow, green, and all of a sudden he's at the top of the time sheets. I think it was like, wow, where did that come from?
But it was a very close qualifying. Very, very, very close. Closest for a while. Do you have anything else to add to qualifying? No?
Just Russell, really, and his idiotic warm-up lap, and they're all jockeying for position, and him getting pissed off on the radio, and like, it was just, I mean, they all have a gentleman's agreement. That's gone out the window a long time ago, hasn't it?
Yep.
Well,
yeah, look at Gasly cutting through the field on the final corner to then do his lap. Like,
yeah.
Come on, it's not. It doesn't exist. Every man for himself. Every team for themselves. Well, the race Sunday, it was going to be a good one. It was teed up to be a good one. We've not seen this front row for a while. And the last time it was like this, it got spicy. Max as well, unfavoured P2, which isn't a good position to be on in the track. But as we've alluded to already, the start of the race, it was kind of all over in about 5 corners.
Yeah.
Max nailed the start, past Lewis. Lewis went backwards. Joe, who we haven't really touched on, nailed qualifying, and then completely, and excuse my French here, but I think it's really needed, fucked up the start. Completely fucked it up. Anti-stalled, then got off to a standing start, then broke way too late, went straight into the back of Ricciardo, who then went straight into the back of both Alpines.
So much so that
the race.
Drove over the other one and broke his seat in half.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite bad for a Ocon. Like, his seat, like, it's carbon fibre, and it broke in half. His back and arse was on that. Like, that must have hurt.
Not that bad, but maybe it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was, but
I
Alpine.
mean, yeah, Alpine. Double DNF again.
Hit each other again.
I mean, yeah, you say hit each other, but they didn't really. They were forced into each other, weren't they? Really?
Yeah.
It was upsetting.
Perfect one. Chain reaction.
Yeah.
Do you think Hamilton could have done better?
With the start?
With the start.
I think he'd have only delayed the inevitable, if I'm honest. I mean,
I agree.
Fair play to Piastri, like, but again, so the start, Lewis, Max. I mean, what is it with them two? They just can't race because they was almost forcing each other off the track, and Piastri just tipped by.
It's because Max does what he always does, trying to push people around and stuff like that. But I think the issue that Lewis now has is, unlike other drivers where they're just like, I'm just going to stand my ground because I know exactly what you're going to do. Lewis now pushes back.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue now with them two, and they are just going to continue to take each other out.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, really, because I think the one thing that Max wants is a race, and the only person he can see who's up there to race him is Lewis.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only other thing I've really got to talk about from this race is Max on the radio at some point actually said to everyone, "How's everything over there? Everything okay?" I hear that as, "Guys, I'm bored. Can someone talk to me?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But he probably goes for a third pit stop and stuff like that just so that he can see people.
probably. I mean, he
Yeah.
could stop for a cuppa. I've got. So by lap 15, Max was 5 seconds clear of Piastri. After the pit stops, both McLarens were 9 seconds in front of Hamilton. After Max's second pit stop, his lead over Norris went to 10 seconds. Don't have what he actually finished in front of everyone, but like you say, it was ridiculous.
33 seconds.
33 seconds on.
That's what I mean.
Wow.
They turned something back on.
Yeah.
Either they turned something back on or they said to Max, "Oh, and this isn't this is, believe it or not, the guy that lost the tickets, he was watching the race with me and he said this." Well, they probably told Max if he moves his seat forward an inch, he can push the pedal a little bit further down.
Yeah. He's probably only at about 60% right now.
Yeah. It's like, "Oh, you see that little dial? Yeah, just turn that back up to 9.
What I will say is the DRS isn't as powerful. Perez, but then they were saying about the wind wasn't in the right direction. So, but I do think that they've just changed the rear wing to make it less powerful because, let's be honest, they don't need a powerful DRS because I don't think Max's has actually opened his much this season.
Yeah, that's true.
I think of all the problems in the last years where the flap was opening and closing and juddering. He's probably not even tried it this year because he's thought, well, we don't need it.
No. Perez marched through the field, used a bit of DRS on the way through. He is gaining confidence again.
Is he gaining confidence though, or is it just that Red Bull have just fucking turned his car back on?
Yeah.
Driver of the day came from 9th to get 3rd. But he was hanging on, albeit hanging on at the end.
That means bullshit. Oh, you started in P9 and you got 3rd, you get driver of the day. George Russell started for fucking 18th.
Yeah. And also, he should have got Norris, but he backed up. He cooked his tyres and Hamilton nearly got him. At one point, it was close. He should have absolutely annihilated. And they had a 1.9 second pit stop. He should have been second in that car. Like you say, he's from 9th, not 19th.
True.
I think it's a false dawn. Yeah. Like you say, James has hit the nail on the head. They've turned it back on.
I've got him in my predictions for this week, but I think it'll do it for this week. He'll have the mid-season break, and then his car will turn to shit again.
Yeah, interesting.
I think they're turning it back on because they know that Perez is getting a little bit of a sniff of, I know exactly what you're doing, and you're going to get Ricciardo in here.
Yeah.
So they're just doing it to deflect.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Leclerc speeding in the pit lane.
Yep.
Schoolboy error. But that just adds to Ferrari's woes, adds to the Ferrari 2023 season story.
Yep. Shambles.
Shambles. And that was pretty much the race. I can't really think of anything else. There was no real midfield train that we usually see. Norris had a really strong undercut, but we've kind of touched on that already. Reasons for that.
Hamilton overtook Piastri. Perez got Piastri. Perez did Hamilton in the pit stop. Russell passed Sainz and jumped Leclerc because of his penalty. It was a pretty boring race. I think there was something like, what, the 20... I saw a stat. There was something like, last year there was 40-something overtakes. This year there was 20 or...
Well, yeah, it was pretty boring.
What's happened to your Aston Martin team?
Well, supposedly, speaking to my mate Alonso, the new rules or the new tyres that have just come in, I think they came in at Silverstone, have severely affected the car, amongst other teams as well, but mainly Aston Martin. Also, they haven't brought any upgrades recently, so they've took a major back step, but let's be honest, this season, they have been very, very good. They've been a surprise. We did not expect them to get a podiums. Now they're kind of finishing where we thought they would, but we're disappointed now. Well, I'm disappointed. Let's see if there's any more upgrades in the pipeline to get us back up to the top. But
get us back to the top.
Get the machine, the green machine.
Fucking, you are unbelievable.
At the top.
You are fucking unbelievable.
But
I've also noticed you're not wearing your Aston Martin cap tonight. I'm just going to throw that out there.
It's all Rovers tonight. It's just all about representing. You know what I mean?
Bullshit. Sorry.
Buddy, are you Wembley?
Pardon?
Are you going to Wembley?
Yes.
Mark, are you going to Wembley?
I'm going to Wembley. Are you going to Wembley?
Well, we're all going to Wembley. We're going to Wembley to watch Rovers. I love how on the F1 podcast we've mentioned Rovers God knows how many times.
I have just sent a tweet out to the Red Robin podcast and just said we might have gone slightly off topic this week.
Sorry, they're probably talking about F1. That's the kind of thing.
They are now.
Well, I don't think even we're not talking about F1, so they're not going to be.
Aston Martin, I got bonuses in the picks and the predictions, which we are going to come on to very, very soon.
Okay.
And I got brownie points. I got the jump on everyone because I was picking Aston Martin.
Did that turn into points for you?
But now they're costing me. Now it's costing.
How is that lead for you at the moment, Tony?
I don't know, but if you look back to the previous podcast, I did actually say Norris second, and then changed my mind and said, "Can I have Alonso second?" So I fucked up there. Maybe, Mark, wait for it. Maybe the Aston Martin hype train has slowed down.
Have you moved into a shiny new factory and you've broken everything too? Like, you know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we're running out of fuel and maybe we just need to just come down the gears and just settle down. Just steady off.
Can you do a return after like half of the season on your hat?
Don't know.
I mean, you've got your Red Bull one waiting in the wings. You're all right. You're fine.
A few more seasons and then straight. Get it done. Get it ordered.
What do you mean? What? Order Red Bull?
Yeah. Or high-tech GP.
Hey, well.
Hey, hit me up, T-Dog, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit me up, high-tech.
And all of his stuff. So if you was to start getting Red Bull merch, you would have to go to that guy who you massively upset.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
It ended Max, Norris, Perez, Hamilton, Piastri, Russell, Ferrari 7-8, Alonso, Stroll. Max is still leading the championship. Perez is just second, Alonso third, Hamilton fourth, Russell fifth, Sainz, Leclerc, Norris is quickly catching everybody now. Stroll somehow is in ninth and Ocon 10th. Anything else to add to the race? Anything before we move on?
Nope.
Cool. Would you like a quiz or predictions?
Well, let's do predictions because normally you don't know who to pick. So let's quickly go through predictions, and then
The host goes first, Matt.
the host does go first. But
So you know this podcast. You're part of it, and you know the rules.
Well,
so maybe this time I have my picks done.
Well, while you're sitting there thinking about your predictions, Tony, which me and Mark probably have both already got.
Yep.
Let's have a look at the last ones. So, for Hungary, the actual race results was Verstappen, Norris, and Perez. So, Mark, you had 28 points. You went Max, Leclerc, Norris, getting Max. So you've now got 31 points. Me, I had 28 points. I went Max, Hamilton, Norris. I also ended up with 31 points. Tony, you went Max, Alonso, Norris. You had a lead of 31 points. You got Max. You still have a lead, but it is a lead of 34. So you have a 3-point lead on us. If we go to the ladies, Katie was at 7 points, and she's still at 7 points because she's been awkward and not the winners. Charlie, who is meant to be the guru of F1, has also been awkward and not picking winners. Well, she refused to put Max on the podium. So she's gone from 10 points to 12 because she had Ricciardo, Norris, and Piastri. Katie had Hamilton, Ricciardo, and Alonso. Beth, who is actually being sensible here, when she had 21 points, she went Max, Leclerc, Hamilton. She now has 24 points.
10 points behind you, Tony. 10 points.
I'm not saying anything because I don't want to jinx anything. So I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say anything. My picks for this week.
Right, just get ready, ladies and gentlemen. There might be a bit of silence. The podcast isn't broken. It's just Tony thinking about his picks.
By the time we come back, he might be ready.
Yeah.
Max, Perez, Norris.
Shit. No. Oh.
Wow.
I'm going to put my pen down.
Mark's changing his. You can see him. Look how intense he is.
Yeah,
Copy me.
I've just wrote yours down. Mine are nothing like yours.
My pen down because I don't want it to look like I'm copying here because I have the exact same call.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, Dad. Yes. Father and son. Boom. I like your thinking.
It's in the cradle in a silver spoon. So there's probably two people who know that one.
No, probably not. It's probably gone. It's just gone like that. He hasn't got a clue.
Mark?
I'll educate you one day, son.
So, Max for the win, obviously. I haven't gone Perez. I've gone Norris second. Nozza. The third one, I was debating. It's going to be a Mercedes in third. I've gone Russell.
Oh.
He normally has a bee in his bonnet for a couple of races, then beats Lewis.
Yeah.
I want to put Hamilton because Hamilton's in quite a good reign of form. I just think Russell hasn't beat Hamilton for a bit in a race, and Spa is the one.
I think Hamilton is fourth, and I think it will be by such a minuscule difference between him and third. It'll be unreal.
I think Russell fucked up, and he hasn't been doing that well. So you might be onto a winner there, Mark. I
hope so, because you two are exactly the same. So if you both get it right, there's a bit of a gap to me.
But if you get 7 points, Mark.
Oh, everything to play for.
Aye.
calm your excitement. What
Yeah.
What are the girls' picks? Beth actually hasn't given mine.
Unbelievable. Hi, Beth. By the way, just realised we hadn't done that for this week's.
Look at him hollering at her, and he's muted it, and he's just going, Beth, Beth.
I think we should pick some for Beth.
You think?
Little Fee,
She said she's going to do her picks afterwards.
Senna.
If that's
Afterwards?
okay. If that's,
No,
okay.
Beth, if you're listening, it's bullshit. Get it done now. We've got a quiz to do, and Charlie and Katie. Look. I didn't say anything, Beth. It's him. It's all him.
Beth, Tony said, pull your fucking finger out. We
Yeah.
had nothing to do with it. It's all Tony.
He said, you lazy git, been doing fuck all day and you haven't got the picks in. He's just been telling us. Well, so have you got Charlie's while we're waiting for Tony?
I've got Charlie's, yes.
We
So
wouldn't mute it.
Charlie's gone.
Charlie's gone.
Charlie's gone Perez, Norris, and Piastri, which, in all honesty, isn't bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
She's going to nail it. She's 1 week. She's just going to nail it. And that will be like her like, that is why I'm the girl. Thank you.
Katie has gone for, again, not having Max. So Lewis to win, Ricciardo second, and Norris third.
I mean, there's one fairly
Yeah.
cool
I
one.
mean, I like it. What do you
Don't get me
think,
wrong.
Beth?
Love it if Hamilton does.
I know.
I bet.
Beth, have you got your picks yet?
Well, have you gone? Because you're usually last.
I'm the host, so I've gone.
You've been owned.
Nuts him, Beth. Go on, nuts him.
Oh, fucking hit him.
Fucking
Pull
hit
his hair.
Hit the
Oh, yeah,
prick.
what he said earlier as well.
Yeah, you prick. Yeah, fucking don't have a go at your wife.
Yeah.
Never say
Straight
that.
to the Apex. It's available on all channels.
1 minute he
You
doesn't have to talk on the podcast. Next
Cookie
minute he
cats.
does. You can't decide.
Thank you, Andy,
You're
for
ruining
everything that
the
you do.
production again, apparently.
Yeah, I ruin the production. I appear when I'm not supposed to appear. But then actually he wants me on the podcast because he's got to entertain himself somehow when he hosts the podcast. Because there's nothing else going on, is there? Max is my first prediction. Second prediction is Lando Norris. And third prediction is Hamilton. Suck on that, Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony.
You're in trouble when she uses your proper name.
Wow. Whistling at me now.
Welcome
Yeah.
to a snapshot of Tony's life because he literally angers his wife every minute of every single day.
If just for the benefit of the listeners, if Tony does not appear on next week's podcast after the Belgian Grand Prix, this week's episode will be handed into the police as evidence.
Yeah, and we will mourn his death, but also celebrate Beth
Wrong.
actually doing everyone a favour.
Anyway, let's move on. Should we have a little quiz?
After a minute's silence for you.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead yet.
All right.
I'm not dead yet. I'm
Yeah.
not dead yet.
You are as soon as we press stop.
First question on the quiz.
One for 3 part.
Hey, Dad, it's fastest finger first. Shout
Okay.
your name. There is no. Well, I'll think of a prize. For the quiz.
Okay.
But we'll get to that there. Are you ready?
Ready.
What 23-year-old won his first race in Hungary in 2003?
2003. Wow.
Mark. Hamilton.
Incorrect.
I took a pull.
James.
Earlier.
He could steal it.
Go. First Grand Prix win in Hungary.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I don't know, Jensen Button.
No. It was Fernando Alonso, and I think that was mentioned at least 10 times to allow Fernando Alonso during this weekend, as well as, I think, Sky Sports doing a special segment for it.
Hub, before watching Rovers, get into Wembley, I didn't hear any commentary.
I fast forwarded the Fernando Alonso bit before the race. Whoopsie.
In next fastest finger first, next question. Wow, I thought you'd get that one. In 2020, who won the race at Hungary and a record number of victories?
James. Schumacher.
No, incorrect.
In 2020, so say the question again.
In 2020, who won the race and a record number of victories?
Lewis.
In Hungary.
Lewis
Hamilton is correct. Next question. What was the number of victories that he had?
Oh.
I think I know. Mark. It's between two numbers. I'm going to say 7.
Incorrect.
Are we just talking wins that season?
Wins at that circuit, which was a record.
Wins at Hungary.
I mean, he wouldn't have been driving for that long in 2020. 3?
No, incorrect. It was 8.
Oh, that was the other number. Fucking hell.
Wow.
This next one, fastest finger first. How many races since Hamilton's last pole?
How many races since his last pole? You cruel bastard.
Do you wanna give us a number and whoever's closest wins? Should we play it like that?
Yeah. Because I actually said that obviously his last pole was Jeddah.
You did say that, 2021, but you may want to be quiet because you may give the answer away. However, can James work that out? I don't know.
I'm kind of counting how many races there is in a calendar.
He did say 3 victory rings at Hungary for Hamilton. So it was way off there.
I'm going to say 32.
Okay.
James? 32 races.
32 races from his last one to this one, yeah.
Which was in 2021.
Yeah.
Remind you, this was race 12. What do you say, 32?
Yeah.
I'm going 31.
You fucking bastard.
I should have said 33, shouldn't I?
The answer is 33.
Oh!
Work.
One off!
Wow. That was incredible.
2-0 to me. Right. Sorry, James. Suck on that. You silly bastard.
How's your marble?
No.
Good.
Yeah.
Look, again.
Better than your gravel. Actually, we haven't got either of them. So.
This is the closest winner. Closest wins.
Okay.
What was the gap between Hamilton on pole and Hulkenberg in P10?
Oh, you are such a dick.
Just because you watched a race, don't get cocky with your questions.
I'm going to split the nearest 10.
It's thousands, if you would like.
We've got to go to the nearest 10.
I've got a number to the nearest thousandth, so that might give you a clue of how close it was from 1 to 10.
Well, okay. So I've got Hamilton's time down of 1:16.609. So you want how many seconds off that was Nico
Hulkenberg.
Oh, God, you cruel bastard. Go on, James, you can guess first.
This will really show if you have any knowledge of this weekend, this race, this sport, this quali. Well, obviously.
1 second. 3/10, 500ths, and 6,000ths.
Okay.
You're a dick, by the way. But I love you.
What did you say? 1 second.
1.356. You can't remember.
I'm going to say half a second.
You said you're going to go 0.500.
Yeah.
Mark, you're the winner. It was actually 0.577.
They did mention it in quali, and I know it was close.
Right, this is the last question, but there's many parts to it. So James, you could win the quiz.
It's 3-0 down. Oh, wow. Is it 4 parts by any chance?
There's 4.
Yeah.
Of course it fucking is. Wow. Right. Come on.
How do you spell my name?
Well, do you want... Should we get Jay? Okay. When was this exact time achieved before? When was it? What race was it achieved at?
What time?
What time?
This exact time, from P1 to P10, this was achieved.
What? So half a second covered the top 10. When was the last time it was achieved?
Yeah.
How is this many parts?
Let me.
I mean,
just think about it.
I mean,
I'm going full-blown Forrest Whitaker eye on you right now. You know that, right?
So it's the last time this exact gap, was achieved at what race? James, you're losing, so it's going to be a hell of a hit in the dark here.
Miami.
Incorrect. I mean, James goes, then you can go. Just keep going.
Well, I mean, we've got 3.5 minutes, mate. So
yeah, we got. I'm going to go with Monaco.
Incorrect. It was Brazil. What year? Give me a year.
2019.
No.
2020.
Incorrect. 2003. Who was pole in Brazil at 2003?
Senna.
No, absolutely not.
I know, but
James.
I dead set there.
I mean, his first name was Rubens.
Barrichello.
Correct. Well done. Fantastic.
Well done.
And guess who was 10th that year?
Hulkenberg.
No.
Lewis Hamilton.
No, it was Alonso. Mark, you win the quiz 3-1. Congratulations.
What? Do you have any concept of a quiz? Like,
I don't know what happened with that.
No.
I tried to bring you back in the end. It was a long shot, but...
Mate, I keep telling you, send me the fucking answers.
I mean, if you'd have got every single one of them questions right, then I think we'd have known that he sent you the answers, because that quite possibly is one of the worst questions or quizzes we've ever had on this podcast.
Well, from that bombshell, it's Spa next week. It's the halfway stage. It's the last race before the summer break. It's a very, get ready guys, prestigious track with many prestigious sections. It's going to be an interesting one. Yeah. Any things to end on? Anything to say?
We will be doing a podcast during the mid-season break, and there will be a quiz from the guru, which is Charlie.
Oh, good. Some questions that we all might have a chance with.
I mean, she doesn't know that yet. I will
right.
be a conversation with her, but there will be a quiz in the mid-season break from Charlie.
Excellent. Looking forward to it already.
Excellent. I can't wait to beat Mark again.
Well, that's if you survive the next 10 minutes after you get off this podcast, in fairness.
Which isn't happening, because me and James are also going to kill you if Beth doesn't.
And on that bombshell again, guys, this has been your boy Tony T-Dog with James and Mark. Straight to the apex. Go Robins. Up the Reds.
Up the Robins.
Wembley. Wembley.
We'll see you soon.
Famous Kingston Rovers, and we're off to Wembley. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there you go. What do you think to that? Another one gone. Another race gone. More races to come. Just keeps coming. It's what we like. And if you do like it, before you go, click the like button. If you like it a lot, share it with a friend, a family member, somebody you hold dear to you. Say, hey, I like you. I'm going to share this podcast with you. You're in my crew. You can also check out the website. Website's got social media links, an email button. That way you can get in touch with these guys. You can get in touch with the podcast. Let us know that you've shared it around. Let us know how much you love this podcast. We'll let you know that we got your love. You know, there's a lot of backwards and forwards. Big thank you for listening. Big thank you for watching. That's it from me. That's it from these guys. Until next time, obviously. And until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
Thanks for listening. If you liked this episode of CookieCast, please like, share and subscribe.